Good evening. My name is Ross Nova, running for governor of Minnesota. Welcome to the War Room Kitchen, where I'll discuss real issues that matter to families. That being said, one of my favorite ones that I would like to discuss or talk about is called Stop Crime Act. This I strongly believe in, and I think this should pass no matter what. That being said, let's go over it. So the Stop Crime Act, it's a legislation that findings and purpose. Law-abiding citizens and business owners deserve strong legal protection when confronted with criminal activities. Do you not agree with that? I think both parties should easily agree upon that. Criminals and those actively engage in crimes should not be permitted to profit from their own unlawful conduct, which happens often. Frivolous and retaliatory lawsuits against victims, property owners, and Good Samaritans undermine public safety and justice. Again, totally agree with this. Purpose: to determine criminal activity, limit abusive civil allegations and arise from criminal acts, strengthens protections for victims and business owners, ensuring accountability for offenders. I believe businesses are scared from lawsuits. That's why a lot of times businesses just allow criminals just walk out the door and not do anything because they fear that if they put their hands on the criminal, try and stop them, they're going to get sued. And they're going to lose millions versus a couple $100 or $1,000, whatever, right? And that's wrong. And we need to put a stop on that. If you feel like you can tackle that criminal and take him down and apprehend him, do it. Because this act right here, Stop Crime Act, will protect you from lawsuits. It's time for businesses to take control and say, enough is enough. And I have your back. Definition: criminal actors means any person who attempting to commit or fleeing from a felony or misdemeanor offense. Victim means person, business harmed or threatened by a criminal actor. Good Samaritan means any individual who reasonably intervenes to prevent crime, stop a criminal actor, or provides assistance during immediate after criminal act. Serious bodily injury, it's a Minnesota statute. Here we go. This is what's important here. Waiver of civil claims by criminal actors. A criminal actor who injured or harmed while committing, attempting to commit, or fleeing from a crime shall waive all rights to bring civil lawsuits against A, the victim, B, the property owner, C, the Good Samaritan, or D, any person acting in lawful self-defense or defense of others. In other words, the moment you, criminal, commit a crime, in the process of committing a crime, is the moment you waive all rights to sue anybody. That should be no-brainer. If you commit a crime, you walk into the store like, hey, I'm going to commit a crime, and start stealing stuff and start running, you're committing a crime. You waive all rights from suing anybody the moment you decide to take off and not pay. This waiver applies regardless of the severity of the injury, including permanent disability or death, except in cases of proven intentional torture or conduct that is clearly unrelated to stopping or preventing the crime. Limitation on family members' lawsuits. Family members, heirs, or representatives of criminal actors shall not bring civil actions for injuries or death arising from the criminal actor participation in a crime. This prohibits applies whether or not criminal charges result in conviction, provided probable causes existed that an individual was engaged in criminal activity. So in other words, families, friends of the criminal, guardian, whoever you may be, you cannot sue the business or other party members that were preventing the criminal from getting away. Period. No lawsuits may be filed by criminal actors or their family related to the incident until all criminal proceedings are completed and defendant is found not guilty or charges have been dismissed. A conviction permanently bars such civil claims. Do you not agree? If someone comes into your house to steal and you punch him in the face and he runs away, do you think that person should come back and sue you for having a bloody nose? For breaking his nose? This is exactly the same thing, except with businesses. This made me think I should do one for homeowners too. I'm going to do one for homeowners too. Stand your own ground, pretty much. I don't think that's a law in Minnesota yet. I'm trying to think. Did I do one already? I did do one already, yes. I did do one, yes, indeed. All right. A business or property owner who reasonably uses force to stop or prevent a crime on the premises shall be immune from civil liabilities. This includes actions taken to protect employees, customers, lawful occupants, property, inventory, and product. Again, inventory and product. That's their livelihood. You can't take that away from that without paying. Businesses often shut down because of that. You're causing greater harm to not just a business owner, to the business, but to the business owners, to employees, to the communities. It goes much further than just the business itself that you're causing harm to. A person acting in lawful self-defense or defense of others may escalate defense force in proportion to the threat, including but not limited to, if a criminal actor uses fists or physical force, the defender may use physical force or impact weapon, such as baton or a bat. If criminal displays a knife or other deadly weapons, the defender may use firearm or other deadly force. If a criminal actor attempts to forcible entry, robbery, carjacking, or assault, defender may use any level of force reasonable, necessary to stop the threat, oftentimes a gun. No duty to retreat shall be imposed on the person lawfully present at that location. So do not retreat if you don't want to. Stand your ground. It's time to put the criminals on the run. Make them think twice when they decide to go commit a crime in a business or in a parking lot. Here's another one. Any victim, business owner, property owner, employees, customers, or Good Samaritans injured by a criminal actor may bring civil actions against the criminal actor. It's time to sue them back. Recoverable damages may include medical expenses, rehabilitation cost, loss of wages, loss of future earnings, property damage, or destruction. So in other words, if a business had to shut down to clean up, he may go after the criminals for the loss of business. Loss of business income, interruptions, emotional distress, and mental anguish. Court cost, reasonable attorney's fees. A criminal conviction shall create rebuttal presumption of liability in any related civil action. Expanded on Good Samaritan protection. Good Samaritans acting in reasonable belief to prevent a crime or protect others shall not be subject to civil liability. Period. I don't care if you got a bloody nose while you're committing crime. You cannot sue the Good Samaritan. This immunity applies even if the criminal actor is injured or killed. In other words, if killed, families cannot sue the Good Samaritan. And that includes in churches as well too. If a person comes in and harms the people inside a church, like a shootout, and someone pulls out a gun, a Good Samaritan pulls a gun and shoots him and kills him, the families cannot go after him. Or if the criminal by somehow survives, cannot go after the Good Samaritan. Period. The thing is, the whole point of this is to make criminals think twice, because there is no consequences anymore in the state of Minnesota for committing crime. They get a slap on the wrist and say, goodbye, I'll see you next time when you commit a crime, and I'll give you another slap on the wrist. That's what it is. Criminals are roaming the streets free without any accountability, because they don't think they'll be in jail. They don't think they can. They think they're safe. Pretty much, the law is protecting criminals and not the victims, and that has to change immediately. That's the only way to have the crime go back down to low levels, to record-breaking low. If criminals are fearing that businesses can defend themselves and will stop the criminals. Because I am really tired and sick of watching criminals walk into Target, walk into Walmart, clothing store, jewelry, and not expect any consequences. They just walk out. And businesses have to shut down. And that's not only that, all the people that work in that store lose their jobs. The community around that grocery store will have to travel further to go shopping. Hy-Vee is literally right across the street from me. I walk to Hy-Vee every day. Not every day, but whenever I need food, I walk to Hy-Vee. I don't have to drive. It's convenient. It's nice. And I see a lot of people walking right by my house every day shopping at Hy-Vee. Now imagine if Hy-Vee closes down, they will have to walk a mile further if they don't have a vehicle. That's how important it is that we maintain our stores, our grocery stores. And people keep robbing them, they're going to close down. It's going to affect the whole community. And I'm tired of that. We have to draw the line and say enough is enough. And that's why I believe in this bill, the Stop Crime Act. Protecting business owners from lawsuits. That's the only reason why businesses aren't doing anything. Because they are scared of lawsuits. They're scared that they may hurt someone, the criminal, and then get sued and lose even more money than what they already lost. And how is that fair? How is that fair? It's not. And all you protesters that go out there protesting, you're just as guilty as the criminals robbing the stores, because you're preventing businesses to operate normally. You slow down you slow down I should say the people that want to buy stuff. Customers. You slow down the customers. When a restaurant is open, but then all the streets are full of cars from the protesters, people, cannot go in there and eat in the restaurant because they can't find parking spots. And oftentimes, I don't want to bring my family, friends to downtown with this protest. It's a headache. It's a nuisance. So they lose business. So protesters are just as bad, if not worse, than the criminals. Because you're preventing business. You're preventing customers to going into areas where they want to shop or go out and eat or enjoy a nice drink. Think about that next time you decide to protest. I know this weekend there will be protests. No King rally, which in my mind, I don't understand. No kings. We don't have kings. Why are you protesting? There is no kings. The only king that we have in the U.S. is Burger King. It just does not make sense, honestly. Oh, I get all fired up. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this. So that's pretty much most of the Stop Crime Act. Ross Nova, shooting forward, brighter, bolder for a better tomorrow. Thank you.